Mitch really had to work hard for that one. What's the sort of dressing room's thoughts after that one?
Yeah, the morale's high. We as a group, we knew that the game itself, it wasn't pretty. But I think we showed great character to come away from a game which didn't necessarily suit us in the footballing aspect, but we showed that we're capable of doing the other side of the game and digging out 3 points in a game that wasn't pretty for us. And I think that is a sign of a successful team that are able to adapt to the conditions of the game and still come away with that with the result.
So you had similar difficulties against Whitby the other day as well, but to come through in the way that we did today, does that show we've had a little bit of a progression over that week?
Yeah, massive. I think obviously Monday's game, the conditions of the pitch, we'll come away with that with the result. I think we was a little bit disappointed with how we conceded the goal, but I think by and large, when we've analysed the game and when we've reflected and looked back and stepped away from the emotion of the game, we've been able to say, okay, that was a good point going forward, and we finished the year on a high with the result, and we wanted to start the new year on another positive note, to come to a game today where on our home pitch in front of the fans we wanted to try and make it a footballing game, because we knew that we would be able to dominate in that aspect. And first half I think we did that well. In the second half, always when you take the lead and the opposition throwing men forward, you're always going to have your backs against the wall, and we was challenged in that aspect, and I thought we coped with it well. I thought the boys just showed unbelievable character and resilience, and I think there has to be a special mention to the substitutes that came on, because it wasn't just the starting 11 today, but the boys that came on, Jenks, Connor T, they were magnificent today, I thought.
The leadership shown at times in that game as well, it was really impressive from the sidelines. Was that something that you really focused on as well?
Yeah, I think that's something that the managers emphasised on in terms of leadership, in terms of boys being more vocal, being more demanding of each other, and stepping up. I think in every dressing room there is a core number of leaders, but I think what you need is other people to be able to step up. You can't rely on the same people week in, week out, and I think that is coming of age now, where boys who may not necessarily be vocal are showing their leadership in terms of the quality, in terms of what they're possessing on the pitch. But I think today, to a man, everybody dug in and did their individual role unbelievably well.
You've been here a little over a week now. What are your first impressions of the club, your teammates, and how things are going so far?
Yeah, massive. I spoke to the manager and the boys have allowed me to settle in really, really well. I think for the level that the club is at, the quality of players, the setup of the football club, for those that aren't able to see what it's like in the backgrounds, it's everything there that has got the foundations for the club to be successful and progress to Conference North, to National League, and go even higher. So I'm just delighted to have been able to settle in and get 2 90 minutes in a week under my belt, which is something that I've not had for a very, very long time, well over a year. So it's been really good.
And your first home game today as well, what did you make of the fans, your first impressions of them?
Yeah, it's massive. That's one of the things that attracted me to the club, from the conversations that I had with the manager, to be able to get this many fans in a city where there's 4, 5, 6 different teams, and some massive teams in the city, to be able to still attract 2,500 3,000 fans week in, week out is unbelievable. And I just think that for us is a 12th man, and I know that obviously gives the opposition an advantage, because they will get up for the game a lot more. But I think for us today, in terms of the group, when lads are tired and when lads are feeling leggy and the fans are roaring them on, I think it gives us that extra boost.
Just finally, another big week of training coming up now, another big game next Saturday. How important is it to continue this positive run now, going to that game?
Yeah, it's massive for any team that wants to be successful. I think you've got to analyse the previous game and say, okay, what did we do well? How can we continue that? And what are the areas that we can improve? And we just got to keep building. I think we've got to take that into the trainer. I said to the manager, I said to the boys that I've spoken to, this is one of the best sort of training setups that I've had in terms of the sessions, because I think you never find yourself bored, or you never find yourself not wanting to be a part of the session, because you're always in contact with the ball. It's never really sessions where you stand still, a lot of coaching. There's always a lot of ball involvement, which is massive, and I think that shows in terms of the performance, where the boys are so comfortable and confident on the ball, and we've got a lot of chemistry between the group.